for Ethics and Government instructors here at the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, and we're excited to tell you more about our plans for 2026. My name is Megan Kunkel. I've been with OGE now for almost a year and a half, and prior to OGE, I worked in ethics and policy at the Peace Corps. With me today are IEG's senior instructors, Anna Wheeler and Patrick Shepard. I'll give them both a chance to introduce themselves before we dive in, starting with Anna.
Thanks, Megan. Good afternoon, everyone. We're pleased to be chatting with y'all. My name is Anna Wheeler. I've been a senior instructor at the Institute for Ethics and Government for about 4 years now. Prior to that, I worked in ethics at one of the National Institutes of Health. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We're excited to give y'all a update on the plans we have for the year. Patrick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Patrick Shepard. I'm also a senior instructor here at OGE's Institute for Ethics and Government. I've been with OGE for just over 20 years, about half of that with the IEG. And I'm also very happy to join you for our New Year's 2026 broadcast to share with you some of the exciting things we have planned for the year here at the IEG. And I'm going to hand it back to Megan to get us started with some of the highlights.
Hey, thanks, you two. So we'll begin with a short look back at 2025 to remind you that if you participated in the Professional Ethics Practitioner, or PEP program, by viewing or attending 6 or more PEP-eligible offerings in 2025, please remember to apply for your PEP certificate before the deadline, and that deadline is January 31st. We're going to send another email reminder about this along with the direct link to the application towards the end of this month. But on slide 3, we're going to show you how to get to the application along with some other helpful PEP documents that we have. So on slide 3, you'll see OGE's homepage. So you first want to go to www.oge.gov. And then you're going to select the Resources for Ethics Officials tab up at the top. And then within that tab, you'll see, and there'll be an arrow on the screen here for you to see a page called Professional Development for Ethics Officials. And you want to click on that page. Now, slide 4 provides a screenshot of this page. So once you're on this page, you're going to need to scroll down a little bit more towards the bottom, and that's the Resources section. And the PEP application is the 4th item listed there. So that's closing out 2025. Now Patrick is going to bring us into 2026 with a summary of what we have planned that will be new for the ethics community.
Excellent. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, I'm very excited to share with you some of the new ideas we have for 2026. We take a lot of the feedback from the ethics community very seriously. And when there are ideas that we can act upon to make for a better professional development experience for all of you across the government, we try and implement those ideas. And I'd like to share with you 4 we are working on for 2026. And one of them is a new delivery method. We're trying to get back into live broadcasts like the one you are viewing right now. These allow us to be a little bit more agile and address some emerging topics on kind of tighter timelines. And we're working on ways that we can involve you a little bit more, whether that's collecting your questions in advance or looking at some options that would be acceptable under various government policies to take questions from you during these broadcasts. So the hope here is that we have something that feels a little bit more interactive, live, and provides you an appointment to come interact and meet with us at the IEG. So we're excited to learn a little bit more about how to put these on. We ask for your forbearance as we figure out some of the challenges of broadcasting live, and we look forward to being able to meet some of your needs a little bit more quickly. Next, we'd like to share with you another idea, and this is a minor variation on some products that you may already be familiar with. One of the pieces of feedback we received about we used to call them curricula, now we call them courses of study, is that these multi-part trainings are extremely difficult to make time for. We're all busy, we have employees calling us with questions. We have financial disclosure reports to review. And making time to sit down and watch hours and hours of training on your own without sort of external motivation can be really challenging. So what we're going to try in the spring into the summer is to produce something like that in a live format, so that there will be an appointment maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, where you come to a live broadcast and attend a course and build from the very basic building blocks of a particular program area or subject matter through to full competency. And the hope there is by creating an appointment, it'll make it easier for ethics officials to make space for professional development in their workday. So it's an experiment. I'm sure there will be challenges as we move into that framework, but hopefully it does allow you opportunities to prioritize your development. And I know we have a lot of new people in the community, and hopefully that meets some of your needs. Another nice feature of these programs is we're going to be able to reach a lot more officials rather than a dozen or 30 at a time. We'll be able to reach tens, hundreds, as many of you as would like to attend. So we'll have some less restrictions on some of these more intensive trainings. Another group we are very focused on, and this is another area where we have a lot of new members of our community, are ethics program leaders. So we have a long-running practice that Anna's going to talk a little bit more about later of having orientations for designated agency ethics officials and alternates. But that has historically been the extent of our routine interaction with you, the program leaders from the IEG. And we recognize that you have wisdom to share with your colleagues. You have hard-won experience that can be a benefit across our community. And we also have a lot of new folks in these roles. So we're looking at ways that we can convene agency ethics program leaders to share those experiences, to share that wisdom, and to hear from us at OGE. So look out in the summertime for some new ways to develop professionally, even if you're at the very top of the ethics program in your agency. And I would recommend these opportunities especially to those people who are new to the role of ethics program leader, because we have a lot of great experienced ethics program leaders who are very generous with their time and expertise and can provide you a lot of lessons learned that may save you some challenges in the future. And finally, new for 2026, also along the lines of sharing expertise, we're implementing a program that we're calling Agency Spotlights. We know that there are a lot of you out in the community who are creating excellent products. You're developing practices, you're finding efficiencies. And if we could only leverage that experience and expertise across the government, we could really save a lot of time, energy, and effort, especially duplicate effort in tasks that we all undertake. So what we're going to be doing is using the IEG homepage under What's New to introduce a category of news release that we're calling Agency Spotlights. And we will use this to highlight products, programs, practices of agency ethics programs that have developed things they found to work very well for themselves. And if you're interested in sharing something that you feel is going very well in your agency, look for a listserv in the coming weeks with instructions about how you can make us aware of that so that we can highlight your program. And if highlighting your program helps you down the road, maybe with your leadership or in your own performance review at the end of the year, we are happy for those outcomes as well, because we want to make sure that people who are doing a good job are getting credit for all of the hard work they're doing in their agencies. So those are our 4 items that we're starting anew in 2026, but you're probably interested in the entire schedule. So I'm going to turn it back over to Anna to take us through the schedule of actual activities and the things you're probably most interested in.
Thank you, Patrick. So when we look at our programming for the year, we tend to think of it seasonally. From my experience as an ethics official, there are different challenges you face at different times of year, and we are trying to be responsive to that in developing our programming. Slide 11, please. So it's probably a surprise to no one. Winter, we are going to be focusing on confidential financial disclosures, OGE 450s. There are likely some of you who have never reviewed a 450 before and are going to have to figure out how to do this very quickly. There are also probably a lot of you who have experience, but you filed it all away, and you're going to have to figure out a way to bring this to the front of your brain and do dozens or hundreds of financial disclosure forms really quickly. Slide 12, please. So we've got a variety of offerings that we are planning to offer to assist you in your review of confidential financial disclosures. Next week, we are going to do a demo on navigating to OGE's 450 resources. Megan, could you speak on that for a minute?
Sure. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, so next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are hosting a live demonstration to show all of you how to navigate OGE's website to locate our confidential financial disclosure resources. And we have lots of resources on this topic. You probably saw our listserv that came out recently with those. So during this demo, we're going to show you where to find a lot of those resources that we included there. But we hope to also spend this time to help you with your future visits to our website and for locating other resources. So in thinking beyond the filing season, we're going to really take our time going through the website, and we're going to highlight some pages or collections that you may wish to bookmark or return to throughout the year.
Thank you, Megan. The other programming we have planned for January is we recently, earlier this week, I'm going to say, published a job aid on 18 USC 208. In terms of your financial disclosure review, you are looking for conflicts of interest, and you are going to be applying 208 to determine whether or not there are conflicts. And 208 has several elements, lots of legal advice, lots of opinions to rely on to determine whether or not it applies. So OGE developed a comprehensive job aid that goes through all 6 of the elements and shows you how to apply the standards. We're really pleased to launch this job aid. We think it's going to be a big help to the community for those of you who are doing your first 208 review versus those of you who have been doing it for years but aren't as familiar with one element or just need all of your information in one place. So that job aid is on the IEG website. We highly recommend you use it. It's great. We also published an introductory video explaining what the rationale behind the job aid is and how to use it. And then on January 28th, we will also be doing a how-to session where we have the ethics attorney who developed the job aid do a live broadcast where she works through a couple of hypotheticals and shows what it looks like to use this job aid to do your 208 review while doing a financial disclosure review. So we think this will be very helpful and will be a real value for the financial disclosure season, so please keep an eye out for that. The other thing I wanted to highlight was the micro-learning for supervisors. Patrick, if you have a second, could you talk about that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I guess this is another new product that we published last week. We know one of the very good and important practices that a lot of agencies implement during the confidential season is to enlist supervisors to help identify potential conflicts of interest. And we understand that's a great practice because the supervisors are the people closest to the work and most able to, for a given filer, anticipate what they may be assigned in the coming year. And to help you to enlist the supervisors in this review process, we've created a very short 2-part training session for those supervisors. Part 1 is about 4 minutes long. It discusses the purpose and format of confidential financial disclosure. And the second is a brief exercise that walks through a supervisory review of an OGE Form 450. And our hope is that you can send these to supervisors as a refresher for those who are maybe experienced, or use them as an introduction that you might send out before a meeting with supervisors who will be helping to review 450s. We know that's a common task across the government, and hopefully this saves you some time and energy as you enlist those supervisors in the review season.
Thank you, Patrick. And moving on to slide number 13, if any of the live offerings we discuss sound interesting or like they will be able to help you in your ethics work, please go to the IEG website. We have a schedule with a course calendar, as you can see up on the screen. And if you click on the link for the offering that is of interest to you, you will be able to go to the course page and get the information and be able to register or view the offering. So we're trying to make sure you are able to find what you need when you need it and access it to help you do your work. Okay, proceeding to slide number 14. So eventually 450 season will end. It has to. So for spring, we are going to transition to public financial disclosure, OGE 270As. And we will also have some emphasis on building a culture of ethics. We know this is something that you have to prioritize and make time for year-round. Slide 15. And one of the things we're doing to support ethical culture is an orientation for newly designated agency ethics officials and alternates. And Patrick, if you could talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. And this is particularly important if you're someone who has been recently designated as a new designated agency ethics official or alternate. In our orientation for new DEOs and alternates, we provide an opportunity to get to know the responsibilities of your new position. There are responsibilities that inhere in all of us who provide ethics services to our agencies. But there are some specific authorities that inhere only within the designated agency ethics official position and the alternate position. So we take some time to introduce you to those. We also give you an opportunity to meet important leaders at OGE and to build some relationships with kind of key stakeholders at OGE. We also talk about some of the bigger issues and concerns that apply to agency ethics program leaders. And then if you're brand new, we have a second day, which is optional, that allows you to receive an introduction to the ethics program generally. So if you're brand new, both to ethics and the role of designated agency ethics official, there's an opportunity to get up to speed in a couple of days. And we're imagining this is going to happen in early March.
Thanks, Patrick. Proceeding to slide 16, in the summer, we will have an emphasis on advice and counsel and outside activities. And looking at slide 17, two offerings I wanted to highlight. First, we're planning a gathering for new and experienced DEOs and ADEOs. As Patrick just mentioned, we do spend some time providing an orientation and getting people up to speed on their roles and responsibilities as a DEO. But we want to provide some programming to allow people to grow on this understanding, to talk to each other, build their professional network, and continue learning. So that will be in the summer. If that's of interest to you, keep an eye out for it. And the other offering we're planning that I wanted to highlight is the live course of study. As Patrick mentioned, courses of study are multi-part training products that are going to help ethics officials develop skills in ethic program areas. For the first live course of study, we're going to focus on advice and counsel because we understand that that is a skill that takes some time to develop, and we want to give you some opportunities and tips in order to be able to do that as quickly and effectively as possible. Okay, proceeding to slide 18. For fall, we are going to focus on ethics education and preparing for 2027. 2026 had just started. It's daunting to think about preparing for 2027, but it is a thing we are going to need to do. And going to slide 19, once again, we're going to do another orientation for new DEOs and ADEOs. We try to do those 2 to 3 times a year just to make sure that we are giving people who are newly in this role an opportunity to have some training on what that entails. And Megan, if you could discuss the ACE alumni event.
Yeah, so since its launch in 2023, we've had 3 cohorts of ethics program leaders complete OGE's most intensive and comprehensive training program called ACE. And this year, OGE will host an ACE alumni event to reconnect with former participants and explore opportunities to grow the program and build upon OGE's investment in the future ethics leadership of the executive branch. So again, another way that we're trying to increase and give other opportunities for continued professional development in ethics. I'm actually an ACE alumna from its first year, so I'm really looking forward to this event and seeing some familiar faces. If you've participated in ACE, I'll be reaching out to you in March as we begin planning and pinning some things down. For current, new, or aspiring ethics program leaders, ACE itself will resume in 2027. So keep that, again, looking further ahead into 2027, keep that in mind. So that brings us to our final slide, slide 20. Many thanks again for tuning in to hear about IEG's plans for 2026. If you have any questions or feedback that you'd like to share with us, either now or later on throughout the year, you can always reach out to us at trainingregistration@oge.gov. We'll be back live with you next Thursday, January 22nd, for the Navigating to OGE's 450 Resources demo, and we hope to see you then. Take care.